All right, let's go. You know, extreme situations, we are often told, are circumstances that are significantly more severe, unusual, or dangerous than what is experienced. They require extreme measures. Now, come with me to the ancient city of Asaba, Delta State, where residents, led by the Odugu of Asaba, Nwanze Odua, invoked the spirits of their ancestral deities to place curses on those responsible for crimes that have disrupted the hitherto peaceful environment of the capital city. So kidnapping, cultism and others are the enemy, if you ask me.
Well, I think it's good for once that we are hearing this, and not as if it's not been done.
Yeah.
But at least we are hearing it now that we are going back to the roots to sort of find some solutions to our everyday problem. You know, sometimes you hear the argument that when politicians are to be sworn in into offices,
yeah,
we should stop using the Bible and the Quran. We should go the native way, the way of our forefathers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what is being done in Asaba now. Because when you look at how things have spiraled out of control, you'll be shocked. And I mean, one of the topics we are still going to discuss today has been the issue of rising cultism in some states, which we never heard of before. You know, these days, you even hear...
My mind goes quickly to Edo State. Go on.
Yeah, you even hear, even in primary and secondary schools, of cultism now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not something we've had to contend with before. So, I mean, if security agents can be everywhere, and traditional rulers decide we can go this way, it's also good for us. Let's see the impact. Let's see how much can be achieved.
Okay.
Because the country is becoming more dangerous by the day, despite the efforts of the police, the military, and other security agencies. It's alarming how young people within communities get into crimes and unleash terror on citizens. It's baffling.
Okay. Wale Dotun's position is known. Going back to the roots, you know, consulting, the way our forefathers did. How do you weigh in here?
Well, I think for thousands of years, indigenous people have had their own means of addressing conflict, even, you know, in the pre-industrial era.
Okay.
You know, conflicts like marriage, divorce, crime. So in international circle, it is recognized as indigenous knowledge, which even the United Nations is promoting it, that we should not throw those things away.
Yeah.
So I think that in a situation where you have increase in crime, kidnapping, cyber crime, when people are frustrated, they become helpless. There's loss of confidence in security institutions.
And when they are helpless, they become heartless.
Heartless. So, you know, people think that, look, what can we do in our own little way to resolve this problem? So they may decide to either go and pray in the church, go to the mosque and pray, or to invoke their own traditional method, traditional gods.
Pray traditionally.
Traditionally. So it's not a strange thing. However, I think in the modern society, you know, invoking traditional gods alone, it is not enough to with the emerging complex crime that is facing us, you know, all over the
mankind.
If we can deal with crime, you know, through invoking gods and all that, there will be no need for policemen. There will be no need for soldiers. There will be no need for CCTV. So the modern day science, you know, has also developed itself out of the imagination of the human mind to deal with the complex situation of crime, whereby you can talk about fingerprints, I don't think, well, you can use Sifa and all that, but when you talk about fingerprints, DNA, it's an advancement in science that has its own value. You know, if somebody touches just a grain of air, you can use it to determine the DNA of a criminal that has visited a particular place, and then you can, through data collection, through CCTV. So
considering that no two fingerprints are like...
For instance, you cannot deal with Boko Haram by just invoking gods. You know, don't also forget that criminals also have their own gods. You know, they also invoke to also carry out their crime. When they are going for operation, they also use traditional means, they use modern means, they use scientific methods. So it's so the only way is that we need a system that guarantees safety for myself and yourself. That is driven by science, that is also does not also throw away traditional means of dealing with crime. Because this place, now, interestingly, is the home base of a former governor of the state. You know, yes, Ifeanyi. So it's quite it cannot. That's where it comes from. So if this thing could be happening in this place, that means that even though spending 4 years in government, he couldn't do anything. So security is a major challenge to all of us in this country, and I believe that the traditional people just feel that this is the best way we can address the system. But I don't think it's enough to deal with the challenge that we have at hand. We need more.
Doctor, a cynic said, if there was no God, man would have invented one,
Certainly. And we're still trying to do anyway.
Okay, so in the coming days, we'll keep our ears to the ground, as they say. Let's know what is taking place in Asaba from now on.
What is
are the gods coming to
what
the
is
rescue?
going to happen in Asaba is, like you said, is just a mixture. But like I also said, it's a matter of understanding that, see, instead of going to bring out guns and all the rest, which is against the law, let's see what we can do locally, while the police and all the rest keep doing theirs. Because it's becoming a dire situation.
Well, Dotun has forgotten that if we get to a court and this juju thing comes to the fore, the judge is not ready to listen to you.
Of course not.
So we expect a situation where criminals will be arrested and taken to court.
Yes, that's what will happen.
Based on the constitution of this country, they will be...
So I'm wondering if a fusion of traditional and conventional methods would, an admixture will give us the desired result.
Well, I don't think there's any country where spiritualism has been thrown into the trash bin. Don't mind all this Western people, what they are talking about. They also do rituals. They do rituals. They pray. You see people, the Israelis going to work, Iranians going to work. They pray. They invoke visuals. You go to China, go to India.
Freemasonry, for instance.
So it's been there for centuries. The way we commune with God.
Since it's been there since Adam was in class 1.
Yes. So you can't throw it away. You can't throw it away. We cannot, because the heaven and earth has creator. And there is somebody that orders things in nature.
Yes.
So there's a master design that designed the butterfly, that design the trees, the flowers. So we cannot be just the budget of human mind. There must be a perfect designer. And that's the person that we call God.
Okay. Asaba, from the Journalist Hangout Rendezvous, we wish you well in the coming days.